So how does JonnyBlockchain's robot work in a bear run? Now there are three types of robots. There's a default setting robot, there's your own settings robot, and there's overtrading robots. Now what I'm about to show you may only work with the default settings. These default settings have been tried and tested over a period of 18 months. And we found that these settings are the best settings to handle a bear run. Now JonnyBlockchain's bear run strategy may not work with your own settings or if you're overtrading. So what does it mean overtrading? It simply means you have a lower amount in your wallet balance, either in your MetaMask wallet or your Binance account, than what is needed to carry out its own bear run strategy. So let's have a look at this in a bit more detail and go into how the bot works in a bear run strategy. Now before we look at the bot settings and understanding how they work, I want to just show you a few robots. And we're going to look at what's happening here. So we've got free transactions and we've got the ROI, we've got the total profit, and in this grey here it says kept profit. We're going to be covering kept profits in this video because that is one of the strategies that the robot used to help it cope in a bear run. So let's now go into the bot settings. So I'm going to click on create a new robot. So I want to look at the expert mode. And what that does is it opens up all the settings for this particular robot. This is a robot for Binance, and of course I could choose it for Uniswap or PancakeSwap, but I'm going to leave it on Binance for now. The trading pair is irrelevant and the name of the robot is irrelevant. What is important is how much you're trading with. So let's first look at over trading. Now this robot says that if you're going to use the default settings, the first trade that it does, $20 worth of a stable coin. And if this particular trading pair run into difficulty and the price kept dropping, then the robot is going to need a total fund of $622. Now, how do people overtrade? Well, they set it up and leave the default settings, but inside their MetaMask wallet or inside their Binance account, they do not have this $622. And that causes their bot to run into problems because it can't carry on trading. Or if they're choosing their own settings, they leave this $20 and then what they do is they come down the bottom and they start to delete off some of these lots to bring down the allocated funds, which is in this case 622. And as you can see, as you start to delete these off, this fund goes down. Now that's okay if you want to do that, but you must understand that in a bear run, this robot has been designed to make you a profit in a bear run. And if you've got robots that are stagnant now because you've deleted lots off or you're over trading, that's not the fault of the robot. That's actually human intervention and that you've taken over the robot settings. So of course you can delete as many lots as you like and you can change any of this information that you like on the screen. If you do that, you're now taking control of the settings. You're telling the robot that what you wanted to do and you've not left it to the default settings that have been tested over 18 months. And now what we're going to do is we're going to look at these settings in a little bit more detail. So just to tell you, down the left hand side here, you've got the lot number. Lot 0 is the very first lot that the robot carries out. That could enter the market immediately or it could take a number of days for it to enter the market, depending on how the market is moving. If the market is moving down, then the robot may take some time before it enters the market because what it's looking for is it's looking for the price from the point that you click save. It's looking for a price point that's going to start to go up. Well, if you save your bot in a bear run and it's not going up, then your bot may be days or even weeks before it starts because it wants to try and find change of direction in the market. So when does lot 1 come into play? So let's say that your robot bought lot 0 and it spent the $20. It's now going to wait for a drop in the price of -2% before it looks to enter the market. But just like it did when it first started, it's not going to wait for -2%. It could wait for -3, -4, -5, as -30, as -60%. It will not buy into the market with the second trade until it sees what's called a pullback, which is 0.5%. So if the market goes down by 2% and then the market rises by 0.5%, your bot could enter the market at 1.5% lower than the previous buy. Then you come to this one where it says percentage of initial order. This is set to 100 meaning if your first trade is $20, it's also going to use $20 to do the second trade. I'm not going to go into the average setting or the independent setting. I've got those in another video, and you can find that inside the user guide. The bit that we are looking at is this bit here that says kept profits. It says 90. 90% kept profits means that you get 90% of the profits shown by the robot on the front end, and I'll show you that in a minute, and the other 10% is added to the kept profits that you saw on the front screen. So as you can see here, that kept profits is here. So let's go and look at this robot first to understand the settings a little bit more. So as you can see here, on the 22nd of January at 12:15, this robot spent $10 on buying the play token. Then on January the 22nd, just before 4 o'clock in the afternoon, this robot sold the play for $10.49. But over here, it shows that you only made a profit of 13 cents. But in fact, you actually got $10.49 back into your wallet, not $10.13, because the bot has taken into account three things. It's taken into account the blockchain fee that it needed to buy the play token in the first place. It's taken into account the blockchain fee that it needed to sell the play token. And it's also taken into account funds that can be added to the kept profits. So now let's have a look in a bit more detail of how the bot copes in a bear run. I've taken all the information from this screen and I've put it inside a spreadsheet so we can go into a bit more detail to see how the bot copes in a bear run. And so here's my spreadsheet. There's lots going on the screen, but don't worry, I'm going to walk you through each bit. Now, the thing that we're going to look at first is this column here, which is column B, which represents this column here with all these minuses in here, which is a drop before buy percentage. So this goes from lot 1 all the way down to lot 38. And what I've done is I've put all those percentages in here and I've totaled them up. That is a drop of 83.5% in the market. So if the price dropped by 83.5% in the market, the bot could still operate. The next column we're going to look at is the pullback. And that's this column here. And that means that when the price goes down, the price has to go up again before the bot considers buying into the market. And I've put all the pullbacks in here. Now what I've done is I've deducted the pullbacks from the drops, which gives us an exact total of a drop in the market of 71%. The market is very unlikely to drop by 2%, then go up by 0.5%, then drop by 2%, then go up by 0.5%, then drop by 2%, and then go up by 0.5%, and so on. But if it did do that, that's a drop in the market of 71%, meaning that your robot can still carry on trading in a bear market if the price drops by 71%. But in fact, your bot can carry on trading if the price goes down by 99.9%. As long as the token that you're trading still has a value, then JonnyBlockchain's robot can carry on trading. So the next thing we're going to do is in this blue area, we've got the initial lot size and we've got the allocated funds. You'll see at the top here, the initial lot size is 20, and you'll see that the allocated funds, the max allocated funds is 622, and you'll also see that that figure's mirrored there as well. And I can change this. If I was to change this to 40, then the allocated funds would go up to 1244. So let's go to JonnyBlockchain, change this to 40, and you'll see that that's gone up to 1244. But I'm going to keep it on 20. Now I'm going to say profit per trade. Now at the moment I've put $1 in there. So let's just say that your bot made $1 from every trade. And the next thing we're looking at, the kept profits for you and the kept profits for allocated. So what does that mean? As you can see here, it says kept profits 90%. 90% means that that's the amount of profit that your robot will show you on the front screen. And that will be included in these two here. The other 10%, to make it up to 100%, will be added to the kept profits that we see in grey that we covered earlier. So the next thing we see is the trade number. At the moment I've got that set to 0. But if we look at our robots, you can see this one's done 3 transactions, this one's done 28, 46, 67, 95, 283, 218. Now each time the robot does a successful trade, this transaction number will go up. Now, if we look over here in the orange, I've got the token price and I've set that for $10. Obviously, that would be a change number depending on the token that you're trading. But for simpleness, I'm going to keep that at $10. We're now going to look at the trade log. Let's assume that the market moved exactly as per the settings and that the price went down by 2% and then went up by 0.5%, meaning that the bot would try to buy into the market at a drop in the price of 1.5%. So that means if the token was worth $10, so it did the first trade of the token price was $10, the second trade would be $9.85. And then we'd be coming down to the next trade and the token price would be $9.70, $9.55, $9.40 and so on. As you can see, going all the way down the bottom, that the token price could drop to $2.95 and this robot could still carry on trading even though when it started trading the token price was at $10. In fact, the robot can carry on trading providing the token still has a value. So how does the bot carry on trading in a bear market? Some people think to do with DCA, dollar cost averaging. Well, that's not correct. JonnyBlockchain uses a bit of DCA. It also uses the kept profit allocation. So what does it actually do and how does it work? So now what I'd like to do is I'm going to look at down to 10 trades. We're going to go down 10 lots and I'll put that in pink here. And we're going to assume that the market did exactly what it says in the settings. It dropped by 2% and went up by 0.5%, dropped by 2% and went up 0.5%. But in reality, we know that that's not likely to happen. It's likely to drop 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 before the bot buys the next lot. So what we've done is in this pink area is the actual price that the bot will be spending on its trades. So if it spent all of this money, that would have used up $260 of your funds from either your MetaMask wallet or your Binance account. And I've put that $260 inside this yellow box here. So let's assume for this example that down at lot 10, it didn't drop anymore and that the bot was able to make a profit by buying and selling lot 10 multiple times. So I'm going to come up to this blue box here and I'm going to type in 20. Now, because the bot's done 20 transactions, you can see that the money that you're out of pocket has now gone down from 260 down to 258. So let's say that the robot did 200 transactions. You can now see that that yellow box is changing down to 240 from 260. So what does that actually mean? Well, what it means is that as that number keeps going down, it's going to come to a point where it can escape some of those trades above. Now, if we look at this pink area, that adds up to 260, but the bot's already made a profit of $100 on the lots that it's already sold on lot 10 that it keeps buying and selling. So it now means that you're out of pocket $160. Now, you may have seen this in your own robot. You'll say, well, it's just sold lot 3. Why isn't it sold lot 10? That's because the robot will look for trades that it can close and still keep you in a profit. Keep an eye on this 260 here. Keep an eye on this 160 and also this 100 profit that it's already made from buying and selling lot 10. So let's say that it decides to close lot 1. You're now out of pocket 140. It decides to close lot 3, lot 4, lot 5, lot 6, lot 7, lot 8, lot 9. It now knows that it can close all those lots, and this actually is now gone into minus, meaning you're now in profit of $40 because it used some of the profit that was kept in the allocated funds, and it knows what you've made. Let's face it, whenever you're trading, if you start with $100, when all the trading's finished, you want to end up with more than $100. So the bot knows that, and it may sell lots just because it's made a profit on a lot down at a lower price. So sometimes you'll look at your bot and you'll say, well, how come that sold a lot 2 and it still hasn't sold lot 4 or 5? That's because the bot is designed to sell some of the lots so it can release the funds and start buying back into the market at the lower price, at the price that the market has dropped to. And that's how your robot can make profit in a bear market. Now, nobody else has this system in place, I've looked at other robots and we're unique, and we're going to be improving the way that the robot uses up those kept profits and uses up how much profit you've made already in your trading. And so hopefully that gives you a better understanding of how Johnny Blockchain's robot copes with a bear run. I've only touched the tip of the iceberg in some of the algorithms and settings that are unique to Johnny Blockchain. Now, if you're interested in creating your own Johnny Blockchain robot, then below this video, you're going to find a link. Click that link and it's going to take you over to this page. And if you scroll down the page, you'll see that so far, this robot has made almost $34,000 in passive income for its members. And if you want to get access to it, you'll see in the top right hand corner there's a blue button that says sign up, or you'll see that there's a button here in the left hand corner that says register. Click on any one of those buttons and it's going to take you to this page where you can put your name, your email address, create a password, put some ticks in these boxes, click on this big blue button that says complete sign up. You can create a free account so you can have a look round. And when you're ready, you can get started with Johnny Blockchain, and it just costs $25 a year to set up as many robots as you like. You have a great day. Click the link below and happy trading.